James, we're going to go back and forth, and we're going to select a team that we think is poised to make a jump. Now, out of the East, Pacers, Wizards, Magic, Hornets, Pistons. In the West, Mavs, Jazz, Blazers, Rockets, Spurs. Now, there's some obvious, don't pick them. But there are some teams that I think could make a little jump. Who are you taking first, James?
I mean, this is cheating because they tanked their way out of the play-in.
Yeah, this better be the first pick because I think they obviously have the best chance.
Yeah, Dallas. I mean, the fact that they did what they did last year is, I mean, listen, there are teams that tank all year and they just decided to tank on one game. Like, how mad can you be? I'm sure the league, I mean, I understand how the league can be upset, but I mean, it's Dallas. If Dallas isn't a play, like, screw the play in. If Dallas isn't a playoff game,
Yeah.
or a playoff team, that's going to be one hell of a summer next
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah. Added Grant Williams, added Seth Curry, Dante Exum, who I think is kind of a sneaky ad there. I don't really know what to expect from him, but he's looked pretty good in these World Cup games. Omax Prosper is another one that I think can make an impact on the rotation. They just waived JaVale McGee yesterday. But
I think that's a sneaky bogey trade team.
Yeah, he'd be great with them. They need some kind of secondary scorer out there with Luka. I don't know. I think you're right. Like, they hadn't really satisfied that necessarily next to he and Kyrie Irving. Like, have somebody else that can really just get buckets on their own. I guess Tim Hardaway Jr. can do that some, but how much are we really trusting him? Yeah, I think that's a great fit.
I also think that'd actually be not a bad Killian Hayes team too.
Okay, talk to me about that. You can't just say that.
Well, just to have listen, I mean, people say what they want about Killian. Kid is 6'5" and can defend pretty well. And he's a setup man, right? Like, just to have that behind, like, eventually, like, you just to have a good defender in the backcourt. They don't have a really good defender in the backcourt. Like, I just, like, if you're getting bogey, maybe you take Killian too.
Just as like a flyer.
Yeah, a flyer and just a guy like, oh, we need to stop. Like, just something different than what you have, I guess. Like, I don't mind that as like a third, fourth guard.
You think Killian's done in Detroit? Because like they've kind of stacked their roster to where it looks like that.
That's just all I can go off. Yeah, like, I've been told it's unlikely he signs an extension. He's extension eligible, but then when you look at, they brought in Monty Morris and drafted Marcus Sasser, and it's very hard to see where he even like cracks the rotation. But maybe they just want to light a fire under him and see what happens in camp.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to pick someone from the East, kind of deciding between two teams. And I think I'm going to go with Indiana as a team that can jump in. Now, defensively, they just weren't very good last year, which is like pretty much the case for all these teams. It's like, if you're a bad team, you're going to be bad on defense. But they've made some upgrades, like adding Bruce Brown, who I think will come off the bench and be just like this utility guy for them. You know Bruce Brown well, former Piston. I think that he'll help them a lot. Like, he just helps kind of fill in the gaps where maybe last year you're playing somebody that's a little bit less experienced. Now you're playing literally a championship level player on your roster. So I think that helps. Just getting older helps them too. Like having another year for Tyrese Halliburton, who's really coming into his own. I think Halliburton just being a part of this Team USA will help him a ton as like a springboard into the season. And then they've got like guys that can play. I mean, obviously you have Miles Turner, you have TJ McConnell, who I think can play. You have Buddy Hield, who's still on the team, that is just going to just shoot the ball well. I think Jarris Walker can come in and defend right away. I don't know offensively what he looks like. I think Andrew Nembhard obviously is a guy that can make an impact as well. I think Aaron Nesmith is a little bit of a sneaky role player for them, who played really tough. I was really surprised watching him because when he came into the league, I thought, okay, this is like a perimeter shooting guy. Well, he's played more like forward for them.
Yeah,
and was really tough.
Athletic. At least I didn't know he was that athletic.
Yeah, and I just think they've got guys. Ben Mathurin, I like his game. I'm curious to see what he looks like on a team that is like trying to get to 500, and how he kind of meshes in there. To me, he kind of last year had more of the game of a six man, but
Mhm.
I think that he could change that a little bit. So I'm interested to see what that looks like. He's just got to pass. You can't.
Yes. Yeah.
So if he
And the
can't
shooting
become
just
that,
plummeted, which I don't think is
yes.
like a real thing, but that I'm actually still shocked he made first team over Jaden.
Yeah, I think some of it is just the way he performed at the beginning of the season, just stuck in everybody's mind, and people just like
I
copied and
think that's what,
pasted that to the rest of the season.
and nobody watched Detroit in the second half of the season.
Yeah, or really Indy, honestly.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair. And then also, yeah, I mean, I think of the teams, I mean, I think Cade can be this, but out of respect for, I think Halliburton outside of Luka and Kyrie, I guess Dame too, but Halliburton's the best player of the players on the teams that didn't make.
Yeah,
I don't count Dallas, man. That's Tyrese is probably the best proven player out of the teams that didn't make the play in.
I think that is right for next year. Now, there's going to be guys that emerge in
Right.
like a year after this and years down the road where I think he will be a little further down the list just because I believe in like some of the guys on the Magic and a couple of guys on the Pistons too. And then who knows with the Rockets guys.
Yeah.
But they've got a lot of potential. The same with the Blazers with Scoot, what does Scoot look like in 3 years? I think is interesting. But I like the Pacers. They're well coached, obviously. And I think that they have a good chance to jump in, like maybe over a team like the Raptors to get
That's
into the
fair.
play-in.
Yep. All right. I'm gonna go just to be that guy. I'm gonna go with the controversial one here.
Okay, good. This is why I brought you on.
I'm gonna go Portland.
Okay, all right.
I don't think they trade Dame.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
It's gotten too like why hasn't it happened yet?
It is real. It is awfully quiet.
I think that and then seeing his interview, I think was Mark Spears,
Yeah.
and he just like didn't like that looked like the face of a guy who was told we're not trading you. So if you got Jeremy Grant, Scoot, a developed Shaden or a more developed Shaden Sharp. The West is tough, of course.
The West is so tough. Even with those guys, I still might not pick them if they have Dame.
And that's fair. That's fair. I just wanted to be that guy.
Hey, I like it. I would have never chose them, but I do like that you did.
I do feel like we're just trending toward Dame staying though.
That would be pretty wild. And I think he could help Scoot in his development, just from a spacing and like a leadership standpoint.
Yeah.
I think it would not be a bad thing for him to have at least a year with Dame.
And I even think from Dame's perspective, like I think Scoot can be pretty good like right away. Like I don't think it's like of course he's gonna make mistakes, but like I don't think it's gonna be like some rookie that you're like having to like pull aside because he's doing like I just think Scoot's gonna be good right away. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
To me,
He's one in summer league that when you watched him for like 3 minutes, you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, he's got it. Whatever it is, he's got it.
100%. So yeah, you're trying to just wasted a pick, but go ahead.
You absolutely did waste a pick, but I like it. I don't want this to go chalk in some form or fashion. Okay. I am gonna go chalk. I'm gonna go Orlando Magic as my next team. They obviously are a team similar to the Pistons that just need to make progress.
Mm-hmm.
And like the development stuff is good, but hey, let's win some games too. I think year 3 of Franz Wagner, I think is going to be really interesting to watch. I think that he's getting a lot of hype, and I think that it's deserving. I think he's a really good player that is very well rounded, that can make another leap. I think Jalen Suggs will be really interesting to watch too. In his year 3, like what is he? Because it's like it's time to show that you either have it or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still a Jalen Suggs believer to a degree. So I really like him. And then obviously like Paolo, year 2 Paolo will be fascinating to watch. I really like Paolo as a player. I wonder if he could take a leap being a part of Team USA to show that he's like a true focal point of an offense and that he can be that in like the modern era. I'm just so curious to see what that looks like. And then like they added Joe Ingles, who's a guy that can really pass and kind of run some pick and rolls and shoot for them. Um, Anthony Black, I was a big Anthony Black fan in the draft process. I think that he can not only be like a big point guard, but I think you can plug him in a lot of different spots and he's just going to make good decisions for you and he's going to defend. I think that helps. I don't know how much Jett Howard helps you in year one, but he can shoot it. And so that's cool.
Yeah.
Obviously Wendell Carter's another player that I think will take another step for them. I just think it's time for this young core of the Magic to at least sniff the play-in, if not get into the play-in.
I'm with you. I think that's a good pick. All right, so before I say my pick, I'm gonna say why I'm not picking other teams.
Okay.
I think Washington's gonna be terrible.
Oh yeah, they want to be. They want to be toast, and they are. Yeah.
I don't love Charlotte. I'm not the biggest LaMelo fan. I don't know if you have a lot of listeners that are 23 and under, and they're probably hating me.
I like LaMelo, but I think that they have done the best job of anybody in picking the worst player in the first round over the past like 3 years.
There might be that too. I just think that team's gonna be so bad defensively. I think.
Yeah.
And I think LaMelo is similar to some of the stuff with Dame. It's like they never really had a defensive backcourt. Blah blah. Well, Dame's got to be better. Too.
Yeah.
Like nobody ever taught. Like Dame's got to be better.
Definitely.
I think LaMelo is the same way.
Yeah.
I don't believe in Utah. I thought what they did last year was cool, was impressive. I got to see you do that again.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't like Houston's team, and it's the West. I don't see how I don't see Houston. Yeah. San Antonio, I Wemby could be great. They're still not there yet.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Detroit because it's the East.
Homer.
I knew it was coming. Okay, no, so my question,
for what it's worth, that's the team I would take too.
Okay, I was gonna say, if you tell me of the teams that didn't make the plan, if you tell me that Cade is the best player on any of these teams next year, are you shocked? I'm not shocked. Okay.
No. I don't think so. I think I would be disappointed if he wasn't in the top 3 of the guys that we're talking about from this group.
100%. So that in the NBA goes a long way. If you have Shea, right? Shea was a top 10 player in the league this year and turned them into a 42 win team.
Yeah.
That shit goes a long way.
Yeah, it does.
Having the best player. So
40 win team, by the way. But
40 win team. Sorry.